There is a man in the room who sees everything. He isn't the loudest. He isn't the one posturing in the center of the circle, desperate for laughter, hungry for eyes to land on him. He isn't the one checking his phone every 30 seconds, terrified of the silence, terrified of the disconnect. No, he is the one sitting comfortably in the void. He speaks less, he observes more, and if you look closely, if you really pay attention, you'll notice something unsettling about him. He doesn't need to be there. He doesn't need the group. He doesn't need the validation. And because he doesn't need them, he cannot be controlled by them. Society has a name for this man. They call him a loner. They call him antisocial. They call him introverted, weird, or broken. But the systems of power, the advertisers, the politicians, the manipulators, they have a different name for him. Dangerous. They fear him. Because a man who is comfortable being alone is a man who has mastered his own mind. And a man who has mastered his own mind can no longer be enslaved by the cheap dopamine and artificial fears that society uses to herd the masses. Most people break when they are left alone. The silence eats them alive. They start to panic. They feel the walls closing in. They reach for the remote, the bottle, the phone, anything to drown out the sound of their own thoughts. But the dangerous man, he walks into the solitude like he's walking into his own throne room. Today, we are going to perform surgery on your perception of reality. We are going to dissect why you have been conditioned to fear being alone, why the system is terrified of your solitude, and how embracing the void turns you from a pawn into a player. This is not about being lonely. Loneliness is a sickness. Solitude is a strategy. And if you stay with me, by the end of this, you will understand why the most powerful men in history didn't just tolerate being alone. They demanded it. Let's start with the lie you've been fed since kindergarten. Humans are social animals. You've heard it 1,000 times. It's the justification for everything. It's why you're forced into group projects. It's why open-plan offices exist. It's why if you eat lunch alone, people look at you with pity. They tell you that to be alone is to be in pain, that isolation is a punishment. In prisons, solitary confinement is the highest penalty next to death. Why? Because for the average, unconditioned mind, being left alone with oneself is torture. But ask yourself, who benefits from you being terrified of solitude? Think about the economy. A man who is happy alone doesn't need much. He doesn't need to buy the newest car to impress his neighbors. He doesn't need to spend thousands on clothes to fit into a tribe he doesn't respect. He doesn't need to pay for overpriced drinks at a club just to feel like he exists. The economy relies on your insecurity. It relies on your desperate need to belong. If you are okay with yourself, you are a bad consumer. But it goes deeper than money. It's about control. Group dynamics are the easiest way to manipulate human behavior. It's called herding. If I want to control a sheep, I don't need to put a leash on it. I just need to scare the rest of the flock and steer them in one direction. The individual sheep will follow because it is terrified of being left behind. This is the biological trap. Thousands of years ago, if you were kicked out of the tribe, you died, you starved, or you were eaten by predators. Your brain has a primal, archaic circuit that screams danger whenever you step away from the crowd. Society hacks this circuit. It keeps you in a state of constant social anxiety. What will they think of me? Am I wearing the right thing? Did I say something stupid? Why didn't they like my post? These questions are the bars of your cage. They keep you compliant. They keep you average. They keep you safe. But the dangerous man, he hacked the hack. He looked at that primal fear and realized it was a ghost. In the modern world, you will not die if you walk away from the tribe. You will not starve if you disagree with the consensus. Once you realize that the fear of being alone is a biological glitch, not a reality, you become invisible to their control mechanisms. You become the ghost in the machine. Watch a nature documentary. Look at how prey animals behave. Deer, zebras, sardines. They move in tight clusters. They are loud. They are constantly signaling to each other. Their safety is in their numbers. Their entire strategy is, don't look at me, look at us. Now look at the predators, the tiger, the eagle, the bear. They hunt alone. They move in silence. They don't need a group to validate their strength. Their strength comes from their autonomy. This is the fundamental difference between the nice guy and the dangerous man. The nice guy is a prey animal. He is terrified of conflict. He is terrified of offending the group. He modifies his personality to fit the room. He is a chameleon, but not out of strategy, out of fear. He exhausts his energy trying to manage everyone else's perception of him. The dangerous man is predatory in his focus, not violent, but focused. When you are alone, you preserve your energy. You aren't leaking power trying to maintain a persona. Think about how much energy you waste every day just performing. The fake smiles, the small talk, the nodding when you don't agree, the laughing at jokes that aren't funny. It is a slow leak in your soul. When you choose to be alone, you plug that leak. You reclaim that energy, and you can direct it towards something that actually matters. Your mission, your body, your bank account, your mind. This is why they prefer to be alone. It's not because they hate people. It's because they value their own power too much to squander it on theater. Machiavelli, the father of dark strategy, wrote his masterpiece, The Prince in Exile. He was stripped of his position, thrown out of the courts, and forced to live on a farm. He was alone. And in that silence, he didn't cry. He didn't beg for forgiveness. He sharpened his mind. He analyzed human nature with a cold, surgical precision that is still studied 500 years later. If he had stayed in the court, distracted by the parties and the politics, he would have been just another forgotten bureaucrat. Solitude made him immortal. Here is the part where we have to be brutal. Most men don't choose solitude because they are weak. They avoid it because they are cowards. Blaise Pascal, the French mathematician and philosopher, said, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." Why is it so hard? Because when the noise stops, the truth starts. When you remove the distractions, no Netflix, no music, no scrolling, no talking, you are left with the only person you can't run from, yourself. And for most people, that is a terrifying meeting. In the silence, you hear the thoughts you've been suppressing. You remember the failures you tried to forget. You feel the gap between who you are and who you know you should be. The silence acts like a mirror, a high-definition, unforgiving mirror that shows you every scar, every flaw, every insecurity. This is the void. The average man feels the void opening up and he panics. He immediately reaches for his phone. He calls a friend. He turns on the TV. He fills the silence with garbage because the garbage is safer than the truth. But the dangerous man, he sits in the void. He stares into the abyss until the abyss blinks. He uses the solitude to perform an audit on his soul. Why am I angry? Why do I seek approval from people I don't like? What do I actually believe versus what I was told to believe? This process is painful. It is like breaking a bone to reset it, but it is the only path to true strength. Carl Jung called this the shadow work, integrating the dark parts of yourself. You cannot do this at a party. You cannot do this in a group chat. You can only do this in the deep, heavy silence of solitude. Once you have faced your own demons in the dark, nothing in the light can scare you. What is a boss yelling at you compared to the confrontation you've had with your own soul? What is a rejection from a woman compared to the acceptance you've forged in the fire of your own isolation? Nothing. When you no longer fear your own company, you become immune to external intimidation. You become uncancelable in your own mind. Because you know that even if the whole world turns its back on you, you will be fine. You are in good company. Let's move from psychology to tactics. Dark psychology teaches us that information is power. In any interaction, the person speaking is giving away power. The person listening is gathering it. When you are constantly surrounded by people, constantly chatting, constantly engaging, you are broadcasting your position. You are telling the world what you want, what you fear, what you plan to do. You are predictable. The man who prefers to be alone is a vault. No one knows his next move. No one knows his leverage points. No one knows his weaknesses. This makes him terrifying to manipulate. Think about a negotiation. The guy who talks too much loses. He reveals his anxiety. He fills the silence because he's nervous. The guy who sits back, stays quiet, and is comfortable with the pause, he wins. Solitude trains you to be comfortable with the pause. When you spend days or weeks alone, your brain changes. Your dopamine receptors reset. You stop needing constant stimulation. You develop a high bandwidth perception. You start noticing things others miss. Micro-expressions, tone shifts, the things people don't say. While the crowd is busy making noise, the loner is reading the room. He sees the strings on the puppets. This is why the most dangerous men are often the quietest. They aren't shy. They are hunting for information. They are building a mental map of the battlefield while everyone else is treating life like a playground. Nikola Tesla, Isaac Newton, the Unabomber. Yes, we are going there. Regardless of morality, look at the capacity for impact. These men spent years in isolation. They built systems, theories, and machines that altered the course of reality. Tesla supposedly said, "The mind is sharper and keener in seclusion and uninterrupted solitude." No big laboratory is needed in which to think. Originality thrives in seclusion, free of outside influences beating upon us to cripple the creative mind. Society wants you to brainstorm. It wants you to collaborate. It wants you to work in open spaces. Why? Because if you are constantly collaborating, you are constantly regressing to the mean. You are averaging out your brilliance with the mediocrity of the group. The dangerous ideas, the ones that toppled empires, the ones that rewritten physics, the ones that create generational wealth, they are born in the quiet room. If you want to be average, go to the mixer. If you want to be dangerous, go to the wilderness. We live in the age of the hive mind. Social media has connected our brains into a singular, pulsing organism of outrage and conformity. It is a digital centipede. If you are plugged in 24/7, you do not have your own thoughts. You have downloaded thoughts. You are outraged because the algorithm told you to be outraged. You are excited because the trend told you to be excited. You are a node in a network, processing data for someone else. The man who prefers to be alone pulls the plug. He disconnects. And in that disconnection, he regains his sovereignty. Have you ever noticed that after a few days away from the news and social media, the world feels different? The urgency fades. The anger dissipates. You realize that 99% of the problems society screams about are not real. They are phantoms projected onto a screen to keep you engaged and afraid. When you step away, you see the matrix for what it is. This is why they call the loner crazy, because he doesn't share the collective hallucination. If everyone is staring at a wall, seeing a projection of a monster, and one man turns around and sees the projector, the crowd will kill him. They will say he is mad. They will say he is dangerous. He is dangerous. He is dangerous to the illusion. You must understand that your attention is the most valuable currency on Earth. Trillions of dollars are spent every year to capture it. Algorithms are designed by the smartest engineers in the world to keep you scrolling, to keep you looking, to keep you from being alone. Choosing solitude is an act of rebellion. It is a declaration of war against the attention economy. It is saying, my mind belongs to me. Let's go deeper into the dark. Usually men are forced into solitude by tragedy, a breakup, a bankruptcy, a betrayal, the death of a loved one. The world collapses and they find themselves standing in the rubble, alone. There are two paths here. Path A is the victim. He uses the isolation to rot. He drinks. He feels sorry for himself. He replays the trauma over and over until it becomes his identity. He becomes the lonely old man full of regret. Path B is the alchemist. The dangerous man uses the heat of that pain to forge a new self. Solitude acts as a pressure cooker. Without the release valve of talking to people, the emotional energy builds up. If you are weak, you explode. If you are strong, you transmute. You take that anger, that sadness, that grief, and you channel it into work. You channel it into the gym. You channel it into a plan. The most terrifying version of a man is the one who has lost everything and decided not to die. One, he has nothing left to lose, and a man with nothing to lose is the only man who is truly free. When you see a man who prefers to be alone, you often see a man who has rebuilt himself from scratch. He knows that the crowd didn't save him when he was drowning. He saved himself. So why would he need the crowd now? He has realized that help is not coming. And instead of that making him sad, it made him powerful. It made him self-reliant. Self-reliance is the ultimate danger to the system. The system needs you to be dependent. It needs you to need the police, the doctor, the politician, the bank, the employer. The man who can fix his own house, grow his own food, think his own thoughts, and heal his own heart. He is a glitch. He is a malfunction in the dependency machine. They cannot threaten him with poverty because he knows how to live with little. They cannot threaten him with ostracization because he is happy alone. He is the outlier. Let's talk about value. This is not philosophy. This is economics, supply and demand. The first law of value is scarcity. If there is too much of something, it becomes cheap. Sand is everywhere. It is worthless. Gold is hidden, rare, hard to extract. Wars are fought over it. Now, apply this to your presence. Most men are sand. They are everywhere. They are in every DM, every comment section, every party, every group chat. They are constantly available. You text them, they reply in 3 seconds. You invite them, they arrive early. They are desperate to be consumed. And because their supply is infinite, their value is zero. The dangerous man understands the inflation of presence. He knows that the more he is seen, the less he is respected. Robert Greene, the author of the 48 Laws of Power, made this law 16. Use absence to increase respect and honor. When you withdraw, you create a vacuum. People are used to noise. When you go silent, they lean in. They start to wonder. Where did he go? What is he doing? Is he mad? Did he find something better? This is the power of the ghost. By preferring solitude, by being unavailable, the dangerous man triggers the anxiety of the tribe. He becomes a prize to be won, not a commodity to be used. Think about the celebrities or leaders who are constantly tweeting, constantly doing interviews. You get tired of them. You see their flaws. They become human, boring, annoying. Now think about the ones who disappear for years, the ones who live behind gates, the ones who only speak when they have something earth-shattering to say. When they walk into a room, the air changes. This is the strategic utility of solitude. It is not just about peace of mind, it is about leverage. When you are comfortable alone, you have the ability to walk away from any negotiation, and the man who can walk away is the man who holds all the cards. If you need the deal, you lose. If you need the girl, you lose. If you need the job, you lose. But if you are happy in your solitude, if you know that walking away means returning to your sanctuary, to your peace, to your own kingdom, then you cannot be lowballed. You look at the offer, you look at the disrespect, and you simply turn around and vanish. That is power. We need to shatter another illusion, the social hierarchy. We are told there are alphas and betas. The alpha leads the pack, the beta follows. This is a primitive binary way of viewing the world. It's a prison for your mind, because even the alpha is a slave. He is a slave to the tribe. He has to constantly defend his position. He has to constantly prove he is strong. He is trapped in the game just as much as the beta. He is just playing a different role. The dangerous man, the loner, is not an alpha, and he certainly isn't a beta. He is the architect. He doesn't play the game. He exists outside of it. While the alphas and betas are fighting over scraps of status, fighting over who gets the corner office or the most likes, the architect is building his own world. He realizes that the hierarchy is fake. It's a construct designed to keep men fighting each other so they don't look up at the masters. When you spend time alone, you stop caring about status. Status is a social currency. It only has value if you believe in the society that issues it. If I give you 1,000,000 units of Monopoly money, you are rich in the game of Monopoly. But step away from the board and you are holding paper. Social status is Monopoly money. The man who prefers to be alone steps away from the board. He starts accumulating real currency, competence. Can you actually do things? Knowledge. Do you understand how the world works? Assets. Do you own your time? Peace. Can you sleep at night? The crowd calls him a Sigma to try and label him, to try and fit him back into their Greek alphabet soup. But he rejects the label. He isn't trying to be cool. He is trying to be free. He looks at the cool kids table and sees a group of anxious people terrified of losing their seats, and he walks past them to eat outside. Now you might be thinking, but humans need connection. If I'm alone, won't I be miserable? Here is the paradox. The man who loves being alone has the deepest relationships. How? Because he has a filter. Most people are social gluttons. They consume people like junk food. They have hundreds of friends. But if they were in the hospital at 3 a.m., who would pick up the phone? Maybe one, probably none. Their relationships are based on proximity and convenience. We work together, so we are friends. We drink at the same bar, so we are friends. This is weak. The dangerous man sets a high price for his entry. Because he enjoys his own company, he will not trade it for boring, toxic, or low-value company. If he is going to spend time with you, you have to be better than his solitude, and that is a high bar. So he has fewer friends, maybe 2 or 3, but those friendships, they are iron. They are based on shared values, shared missions, mutual respect. They are not based on needing someone to kill time with. They are based on building empires together. When 2 dangerous men meet, they recognize each other instantly. There is no posturing, no fake laughing, just a nod. You know the void too. Yes, I live there. And in that moment, an alliance is formed that is stronger than any superficial squad. Solitude cures loneliness because it removes the people who make you feel lonely. There is nothing lonelier than being in a room full of people who don't understand you. The dangerous man cuts the dead weight. He prunes the tree, and what is left grows stronger. I told you I wouldn't lie to you. I'm not selling you a fantasy. Becoming this man, the man who prefers to be alone, comes with a heavy tax. The transition is brutal. When you start pulling away, when you start choosing the gym over the bar, the book over the party, the silence over the gossip, people will attack you. They will take it personally. You think you're better than us? You've changed. You're boring now. They will try to drag you back down. Crabs in a bucket. They feel your ascension as a judgment on their stagnation. And for a while, it will be cold. You will lose friends. You will lose girlfriends. You might even lose family members who can't handle your new boundaries. You will have Saturday nights where you sit in your room and the silence is deafening. You will wonder if you made a mistake. You will see the Instagram stories of everyone having fun, and you will feel the pang of FOMO, fear of missing out. This is the test. The universe is asking, how much do you want this? Do you want to be free? Or do you just want to be comfortable? Most men fail the test. They run back to the bucket, they apologize, they reintegrate, and they die as mediocrities. But if you hold the line, if you endure the cold, something shifts. The silence stops feeling empty and starts feeling full. The solitude stops feeling like a prison and starts feeling like a fortress. You stop missing the noise. You start looking at it with pity. You realize that what they call fun is just distraction. What they call living is just coping. And once you cross that line, you can never go back. You have taken the red pill. The steak doesn't taste the same anymore because you know it's fake. So, what is the payoff? Why go through the darkness? Because on the other side of the void lies sovereignty. Imagine waking up and not checking your phone, not caring what the news says, not worrying about what your boss thinks. Imagine walking down the street and feeling completely whole, needing nothing from the people you pass. You are not hunting for validation. You are not hunting for attention. You are simply existing, moving towards your own goals with the momentum of a freight train. This is the dangerous piece. It is dangerous because it cannot be disrupted. If they fire you, you have a plan. If they leave you, you have yourself. If the world catches fire, you have a flame inside that burns hotter. You become the eye of the hurricane. The chaos spins around you, destroying everything weak, but you remain still. History is written by these men. The monks, the samurais, the Stoics, the inventors. They understood that the greatest power is not power over others, it is power over oneself. And you cannot rule yourself if you are constantly handing the remote control of your emotions to the crowd. To be dangerous is to be ungovernable. And to be ungovernable, you must be alone. So, I have a question for you. When this video ends and the screen goes black and the silence rushes back into your room, what will you do? Will you panic? Will you click the next video immediately, looking for the next hit of dopamine? Will you scroll down to the comments to see what the herd thinks before you form your own opinion? Or will you sit there? Will you let the darkness sit on your shoulders? Will you look into the black mirror of your screen and introduce yourself to the man looking back? The door is open. The crowd is loud, but the exit is right there. Step out of line. Walk into the dark. It's quiet there. And in the quiet, you might finally hear the command you've been waiting for. If this opened your eyes, understand this is only what I can show publicly. There are videos I cannot upload for everyone. There are aspects of dark psychology that I simply cannot discuss publicly on YouTube without being censored or demonetized. The algorithm suppresses the most powerful information because it is designed to keep you asleep. Those concepts exist behind the join button. If you're still here, you're not like the others. Subscribe if you haven't. But if you want what's hidden, click the join button and step into the architect level. You will unlock exclusive, uncensored videos that dive into the deepest parts of the human psyche, manipulation defense, and shadow integration. Most won't. They prefer the blue pill. That's the point. I'll see you in the void.